I don't know, it's just frustrating. I'm scared of losing my brand. Hot topic. I mean, I would be lying if I said no. We told them that we met at the market. I never thought we would end up dating. Thoughts on girl boss culture? If only you guys could see how ridiculous my tripod was right now. Welcome back to another video. It has recently come to my attention that in my year and a half, almost 2 years of doing YouTube, I have never actually done a Q&A video. So today we're here to fix that. Over on my Instagram, I asked you guys to ask me interesting questions because I personally find Q&As really boring. That's why I haven't done one of these before. So I want to make sure I'm answering the juiciest and most interesting questions. And let me tell you, you guys have come through. There are so many questions here. So yeah, grab yourself a snack or a beverage of choice and let's sit down and just catch up. Alright, first up, Dom asked, what are your sun, moon and rising signs? I am a Virgo and my moon is Capricorn and my rising is Virgo. You can probably ask all of the people around me. I am such a true Virgo. What film and what film camera do I use? I use a Pentax MZ50 and then I just use whatever film is the cheapest. Last year Alex got me as part of my Christmas present a pack of Kodak Gold, so I'd been using that but I've just run out of that and I haven't purchased any more. But yeah, generally Kodak, but yeah, whatever's the cheapest and whatever I can get. Do I ever get jealous of other people's work and then think mine isn't good enough? Well, yes, of course, and kind of weird because this can have like two sides. If I'm in a bit of a rut and just feeling uninspired, sometimes other people's work will make me feel so inspired and give me so many ideas. Yes, it just depends on the context, but yes, I definitely am guilty of getting stuck in the mindset of comparing myself to other people. I'm usually pretty quick to snap out of it, but it definitely can be hard. There's heaps of questions about if I'm studying, if so, what am I studying? So to address this, no, I'm not currently studying. 2 years ago now, which is crazy, that time has flown. I lived in Brisbane for 1.5 years and I was studying a Bachelor of Business and Creative Industries, majoring in marketing and then media communications. When you look at it now, it's like literally what I'm doing. But when COVID happened last year, I actually moved home from Brisbane back to the Sunshine Coast and put my uni degree on hold. I fully had the intentions to go back, but then I accidentally started my business in the lockdown and I've kind of just never looked back. If for some reason in the future I want to, I would be happy to go back, but it is just not for me right now in this season that I'm in. So many questions about Alex, which if you guys don't know, he is my boyfriend. So how did we meet? I've been holding off answering this one for so long. You guys are so curious. It makes me laugh, honestly. But yeah, every time I do a Q&A on Instagram, this is the most asked question. But I'm going to tell you guys today, not that it's anything insanely crazy or anything. Surprise, surprise, we met on Tinder. Crazy stuff, I know. It was towards the end of lockdown last year and I'd never actually been on a Tinder date before and I never even would reply to Tinder messages usually. So I honestly couldn't tell you what it was that made me reply to his. We spoke for a few days and then we had a few mutual friends, or we just like knew a few of the same people. And then we literally just got on so well, like I can't even tell you, we're pretty much the same person, it's crazy. And then yeah, we just started hanging out. It's kind of funny actually because we were just good friends for around 3 or 4 months and I didn't really like him like that. I never thought we would end up dating. But yeah, we were just really good friends and we would always get work done together because he's a photographer. So we really clicked in that we were both creative, and then working for yourself can be a little lonely sometimes. So we would often work together. So yeah, our relationship definitely started from the foundation of our friendship. Like I said, we were good friends for about 4 to 5 months before anything started happening, which was really nice. But yeah, we met on Tinder, which is insanely underwhelming. Do you want to comment?
No. What are these questions?
So many questions about you.
I'm famous. I'm popular.
How did we meet? Do you want to tell your side?
At the markets.
Alex told his parents. I think they still think we met. And I'm pretty sure they still don't know that we met on Tinder, but he told them that we met at the markets. So awkward if they're watching this.
Who meets at the markets?
How do I navigate living with my boyfriend and best friend? It's actually so easy. Like, it's really chill. Mads is so busy, so she's never here, which kind of honestly sucks, but it's also just so great because we all have our own space. We live in an apartment and it's 3 stories, so it's actually a pretty big apartment. Alex and I both work from home, but he'll often be like on the 3rd floor in the office and I'll be like downstairs in my studio, or he'll be out shooting and I'll be like with friends. I don't know, it just works. It's really easy. When finding someone to live with, I was super picky because obviously doing YouTube and like vlogging, I could definitely see how it could be a bit annoying for some people, or even if some people just want some more privacy than others. Like, I put a lot of my life on the internet and that is so fine for people to not want to live with. But yeah, so it's kind of good that it's Mads because she knows me so well and she's just so fine with it all. Am I happy living on the Sunshine Coast, or do I have plans to move? Well, right now, thanks to freaking COVID, I don't really have much option, but I do really love living here. The suburb that we live in particular is seriously just so good. I love where we live. We're literally a 1-minute walk to the beach. Long term, I can see myself coming back here and having kids and like raising my family here, but I would like to live somewhere else before that happens. If we can travel overseas, I've always talked about living in London. I've been there a few times now and I just love it there. And also Alex and I talk about potentially living in Hawaii at some point. I don't know, these are all just like very vague answers. We just like kind of talk about it, but realistically I'm not too sure if we'll be able to go anywhere in the next 5 years. Somebody asked what was my part-time job whilst I was at uni. I was a waitress at a restaurant called Hellenica. You probably know it. It's a pretty well-known restaurant there. And it was good. It was hectic. Before doing what I do now, I've kind of always done hospitality. My mum owns a catering company, so I definitely kind of grew up with that. It was a cool restaurant, but I wasn't really passionate about it. A lot of people in hospitality like live and breathe hospitality, whereas I was just there to make money for rent and life, and then I was like, see ya. Ooh, this is a good one. Do I ever feel like I grew up too fast? I feel like here in Australia, we're a lot more independent in that we all get cars and like learn to drive, and as soon as you finish school, it's really encouraged to go traveling. When I graduated, I was only 17, and then because I wasn't 18 and all my friends were like going out and going clubbing and things, I decided to go to Europe for 3.5 months and just travel with one of my friends at the time, and that was a really great experience and made me grow up so much. But I wouldn't say I grew up too fast. I've always been like kind of mature and really career minded. But yeah, I wouldn't say I grew up too fast. I'm like literally still a 12-year-old at heart. Have I ever struggled with eating issues / body confidence? Yes, I have actually, which is really sad to say. I hate so much that most girls that you talk to who have been through something like that, it sucks that that's even a thing, and if that's something that you're going through, I really put my heart out to you. It is so hard. For me, it was back in 2018, I think, and I had just gotten back from Europe and my boyfriend at the time had broken up with me. I definitely got into a habit of over-exercising and not eating enough for how much I was exercising. I was literally just obsessed with the idea of having abs and being super fit, which I did, but yeah, I just was not eating enough, and it literally fucked up my metabolism. When I later moved to Brisbane and like started living a normal life again, I gained so much weight just from going back to eating normally again, because my body was storing everything that I was eating because I was depriving my body of that prior to it. I feel like I have come so far since then, and I just eat whatever I want, and I still exercise like 4 to 5 times a week. But I do it because it makes me feel good. I don't track anything that I eat, and I feel like I am the happiest and most comfortable in my body than I have been like ever right now. If you hadn't have started your business, where do you think you would be right now? Funnily enough, I actually think about this pretty often. I honestly think I would probably still be at uni, which is just crazy to wrap my head around. But even though I hated it so much, I was literally just doing it because I thought it was a thing that you had to do once you finish school. All my friends were doing it, my parents encouraged me to do it. I just kind of thought it was a thing that you had to do, and that you weren't meant to enjoy it, and you got it done and then you got a job. So for me personally, COVID was the biggest blessing in disguise, and I definitely don't say that lightly. I know how lucky I am. But yeah, I literally think I would probably still be at uni hating it, working a job I didn't love, and probably still living in Brisbane as well, which I really didn't like. And it's also so weird to think, because at the time I didn't realize how much I didn't like it, but it wasn't until I moved back home to the coast that I was like, holy shit, I was so unhappy living there and going to uni and stuff. If only 2019 Lola knew. Lots of business related questions, which I think I might just get into now. Where do I see my business going next? Honestly, I'm not entirely sure, which is super daunting but also so exciting at the same time. When I started my business, I kind of had this vision that I would not only sell ceramics. Don't get me wrong, my handmade ceramics, I always want to be a part of it, but I definitely want to eventually sell more products and like even potentially stock other brands. A little bit of a hint, I'm working on something else that will be released soon. I've literally been working on this for over a year now, and it's something I'm super passionate about. It's not clothes, it's not ceramics. Yeah, I think you guys are gonna love it because it's something that I get so many questions about. Thoughts on girl boss culture? Okay, this is a tricky one because I feel like I'm definitely guilty on promoting girl boss culture and like boss bitch energy, kind of whatever. But I recently listened to a podcast by Grace Beverly on her Working Hard, Hardly Working podcast. The guest that she had on that particular episode was, can't remember her name off the top of my head, but she owned House of CB and she's a really successful woman in business. And they were talking about the idea of how girl boss culture has kind of come to a point where because you're a female, you have leeway or get treated differently because you're some way at a disadvantage. I don't know if that makes any sense, but to summarize it, it's just kind of like, why should the term girl boss even exist? It's not as if male boss is a thing, they are just bosses. If everyone were equal and women weren't looked at differently in the business culture, then girl boss wouldn't even be a thing. I can definitely link the episode down below. It'll way better explain what I'm trying to talk about. But yeah, it's really interesting. I definitely want to educate myself more on it. It's something that was really resonating with me. And I guess as my business grows, it's just going to be something that I learn more about. But yeah, my idea on the term girl boss has definitely changed recently. Do you think you'll ever open a physical Lolita by Lolita shop? Never say never, but probably not. I really like the fact that my business is online. Majority of my customers are from overseas, but yeah, because of that, I just don't think it would work so well. A pop-up shop would be kind of cool, but it would have to be a pretty cool location for me to consider it. Hot topic. Do I fear that my brand will be lost in the midst of so many people copying my work? I mean, I would be lying if I said no. Don't get me wrong, I know the difference between drawing inspiration and creating exact replicas. I don't know, it's just frustrating when you put so much time and hard work into coming up with original and unique ideas and designs, and then somebody comes along and literally replicates it, even to the extent of the names. I don't know, people can just, it baffles me. I wouldn't say I'm scared of losing my brand just because I'm confident in the way that it's evolving, but it definitely is hard to not get affected by the amount of people that copy my work. If anything, it just makes me evolve as a person and my business, and I'm constantly coming up with new ideas and new things, and copying is the highest form of flattery, which is bittersweet because it is definitely frustrating, but at the end of the day, you just have to take it as a compliment. And I'm going to end it off on this question. 5 current fave people you follow for inspo. Okay, first off, Elena T. We've actually been following each other for a while, and ages ago she sent me one of her prints. She is an insanely talented artist, and that's kind of how we became friends. I love her feed and I love her photos so much. I feel like it's pretty obvious, but Matilda Jerf, she'll just be a forever fave, honestly. Claudia Salewski, a forever fave. And then, last but not least, kind of random, but Elsa Wholesome Life. Ever since I went to her warehouse sale the other weekend on the Gold Coast, I've been loving her YouTube channel. I've always been obsessed with like her family. It's definitely where I see myself hopefully in the future. There's definitely kind of a theme in the people that I find inspiring. Most of them are female entrepreneurs. Chloe Zepp, another one. I don't know, it always changes honestly. But holy shit, I've been sitting here for almost half an hour, and if you guys have made it this far, thanks for hanging out. Follow me on Instagram because I do little IG story Q&As often-ish. I'm getting better. I hope you guys are staying sane and safe during this freaking crazy time. My state has actually just gone back into lockdown. It's only for a few days, but still it's just kind of a bit of a full circle moment thinking that we're back here again. Crossing my fingers that it doesn't last long. It's been super nice chatting to you guys. I hope you feel like you got to know me a little more. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!